All these movie review sites that are on the left wing, or people who are talking about pop culture, almost all of them are far left, or at least left wing and kind of naive. They're all talking about the Wu flu effect on the film going, the business of making films. And I was reading it, thinking about that. It's not, it's, yes, it's there, but the content of the films isn't affected by the Wu flu so much, unless there's some Asian subplots you want to be careful of. It's more the 2020 American riots that have changed films post those riots. Like Trump derangement syndrome in 2016 changed the film environment, but the 2020 riots, BLM riot, Antifa riots, that's something else that has probably a bigger effect. I was going to say long lasting, but I don't think it's going to be long lasting because ultimately business is in business to make money. And I think you're going to see people who are going to go the South Park route, the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia route, where you just offensive right from the start, and you just tell everyone to just blow you right from the start, and you start. South Park was pretty clever because they started off making fun of Christians, and then once you've accepted that and you didn't raise a fit over the anti-Christian stuff, then they brought in the Muslim, the Jew, and everything else under the sun. And you're like, you're trapped. You're trapped in a moral hypocrisy, because if you raise a fuss over everything else, it's like, yeah, you're just hypocrites. It's like they got you. They beat you there. So anyway, I think eventually you're going to see a rejection of woke, probably with smaller things, but when they start making money, you're gonna be like, oh, this is the path forward, because eventually you got to make money. What was it at Jawbreakers? By the power of 1,000 slaves. I think by the power of 1,000 Mel Gibsons, we can save Hollywood. Okay, so there's a Shang-Chi gay Superman, which totally makes sense. He-Man, Cowboy Bebop, and then Saints Row, and it's all kind of the same thing. It's all really gay. It's sort of one story. It's a perversion of classic stories by filthy vermin parasites. Just the worst people on earth. Hollywood is a bunch of cocaine sniffing, just horrible people you wouldn't let within 1,000 meters of a schoolyard. And they take something that people enjoyed, and then they change it to push propaganda. They just F it until it's deleted from this mortal coil. I want more Mel. I want Mel Gibson in everything. He should be, I don't know, like a set advisor for everything in Hollywood. We need to clone him. Mel Gibson is a national treasure. So Shang-Chi is going to bomb so hard. There's zero buzz behind it. Nobody in it looks like they want to be there. They look bored and angry. And this one chick has got the same look on her face. And the other thing, of course, with the Wu flu is that, nobody wants to catch the bubonic plague in a theater, 2 hours in a theater. Like, what happens if somebody coughs? Does everyone just run out in fear? They run out through the fire doors? They got your, just go get your monthly booster shot while we release a new variant to increase the fear prawn and get the cattle nervous. Maybe we should just close the border and build Chinese tech goods in America instead. I'm sure there's a lot of inner cities where you could put people to work building flashlights and all the crap that comes from China. It's like, you can build it here as long as you close the closed trade to China. It's like, I don't think they're building anything that, one, we couldn't build here, and two, that is so critical to the infrastructure. It's like, most of the stuff that's coming out of China is garbage that breaks in 3 months and adds to landfills. And it's like, the environmentalists never really give a shit about that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's just a thought, just throwing that out there. Anyway, so movies aren't worth dying for. Even if you get one experimental inoculation, the variants can bypass it. So I think people are going to stay home and watch stuff on their tablets and their TVs. That look on his face kind of sums up how I feel about this movie. When you've got mediocre superhero genre films, you got to watch them on the big screen. They just don't come across on a TV or a tablet. The experience is totally different. Wonder Woman 1984, Suicide Squad, Black Widow, Snake Eyes, and whatever else came out. If you're watching those at home, you're like, oh, these are just really mediocre movies. It's like, yeah, you'll get through them once, except for Snake Eyes. That wasn't worth even watching at all. But Suicide Squad, I watched it, I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to have to watch it again to make sure I got everything. And I started to watch again, I realized, no, I can't do it. It's just, it's like I don't know. It's like saccharin. It's something artificial that tastes like food, and then you realize there's no nutritional value in it whatsoever. It's just pink Barbie doll garbage. So everything during the Wu Flu era has really sucked balls, but like I said, I think it's really the BLM riot era. And here's the thing. If more people could just say something looks, I'm going to say soy because the G word is for, lighthearted and frivolous is a little verboten on YouTube. If people could just say things look soy, it would prevent a lot of these bombs. It would prevent a lot of this Baizu America crap. If you can say that now, instead of just hearing the criticism, they're immediately going to attack you and ignore the very valid criticism. Why didn't you go see the movie? Because it looked like soy PC stuff. Well, they're immediately going to and scree homophobia. Then they'll dox you and get you fired and have your banks close your accounts and send CNN to your door, all because you used soy as a pejorative. But it doesn't cause people to see the movie. I mean, you can hurt people, but you can't get them into the theaters. The pictures from Shang-Chi have a bunch of breastless WOCs who I assume are probably misandrist and anti-European. Why would I make such an outlandish claim? Because I read Twitter. There is a lot of hatred coming from Hollywood, especially from Disney. Why would you support Disney or Netflix in any capacity whatsoever? The thing with social media in Hollywood is these people are like Epstein, Weinstein types, but then they choose to lecture us on morality. They literally diddle kids and figuratively worship Moloch. They applauded Roman Polanski. They all need a holy water bath with a pH of much, much less than 7. We can see them without their masks on. They hate us and they're evil people, so why support them? And here's the thing, is if some soy developmentally disabled person on Twitter sees this, you're making fun of this woman, you just don't understand the movie. Hey, let's keep it real here. You're not going to see the movie either, are you? Well, I'm really busy that weekend. Really? Because it's in the theaters for 45 days. It's, they bitch at us, but they don't actually go out and support the movies. All these woke movies, Charlie's Angels and Ocean's 8 and Ghostbusters, and all the crap, all the Terminator, all the crap that comes out. You go, men didn't see it. Well, why didn't women see it? They never really have an answer to that. Not everyone is on Twitter, but it's the source to help create a lot of buzz. And there's a lot of nexus points between all across social media. It starts at one point and then somebody else picks it up and rebroadcasts it, and then it gets picked up by a bigger channel, and you get the idea. You can help create buzz, or you can put a damper on things. It's all, it all adds to the totality of this universe of pop culture. Twitter and social media in general, it reaches a lot of people, which is why even though Comicsgate and Phantom Menace, those groups specifically, are small, there's a lot of Venn diagram overlap with a lot of other social media groups. And Comicsgate and Phantom Menace make people nervous. They're definitely paying attention to it. They don't want any group pushing back against the narrative, which is why they create shields to protect purse puppies. Okay, so let's take a little gander at the body language and the clothing. What do you call this? The set design? I don't know what you call the clothing in films. What are they going with the clothing choice? You're covering up any form whatsoever, and these chicks are probably just stick figures anyway. But you're covering up whatever curves they might possibly have. Everything is loose and unappealing. There's nothing in it. Who is this for? This is for other lesbians. Now, what percentage of the movie-going audience is lesbians? Well, probably 1%. Can you sustain an industry on that 1%? No. And if you look at the cast and you say, oh my God, they look like they fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, which they do, Twitter will call you istaphobic. But it doesn't change the ugliness in the cast. And maybe if you think they look great, it doesn't matter. I'm speaking in general. I'm talking about protected purse puppies in general. You can't criticize them any way whatsoever. So it's like people just don't talk about them. But it doesn't get people into the theaters. There's just kind of like a black hole in social media. If you look at all these connection points, there's a black hole for certain shows, and it's like, oh, that doesn't bode well for return on investment. The thing is, if they're ugly and they look like they hate the movie, that's not the thing. Is the people who are making these movies and the actors who are part of them are so hostile and passive aggressive. And like if you saw that the Saints Row thing, one of the guys said, oh, it was a video game known for comedy, edgy comedy. It was like one of the mechanics stores was called like Rim Jobs or something like this, and like tacos and bitches, something like that. And somebody on Twitter goes, hey, if you take the edge out of this video game, you just turned it into like every other Grand Theft Auto, every other video game out there. It's like the edge was what the edgy comedy was to distinguish the film. They're like, oh well, it's just 2020 and we got to be updated for something new. It's like, yeah, but you're updating it to crap. You're taking the caffeine out of coffee and you're trying to pass it off, and like, this isn't what people want. You're gonna get eventually people. Well, for some of this stuff, like nobody's gonna go to the theater for Shang-Chi and whatever. I wish them well. No, actually, I don't. I wish that they fail and burn, and people find alternatives to Hollywood, because Hollywood is biblically evil. Anyway, like, comment, sub. See you guys on the next episode.